So I get what everybody's saying. I see it from both sides. I completely understand. But I have to say though, you don't know what your children are doing outside of your presence. Children antagonize everyone outside of your presence. When you tell children don't do this and don't do that, and you leave it at that, and they don't even know why, they don't know what will happen, they don't know anything, because a lot of this cut that off is don't do it, you shouldn't do it, don't disrespect adults, but they don't know the full picture of why. And I can understand why he wants to monitor that situation, because if your child is doing that in front of you, imagine what they're doing outside of your presence. And you need to watch them and how they interact with people and what they are doing with people, because you need to be able to guide them. You need to understand what they do to people. And then and only then you can explain to them why that is wrong, why they shouldn't do it. They get the reaction from the other person. And now you can explain why that person has that reaction and why they shouldn't do it. I feel like that is valuable. I think what he's doing is extremely valuable. And I don't, and children are children. I think that we're not thinking about this. Children are going to do the things. They don't have to be bad. They're not antagonizing maliciously. It's just what they do. And you need to be thankful that they would do it in front of you instead of behind your back, because we know a lot of things can happen. A lot of things happen to us behind our parents' backs. We did a lot of things that we weren't supposed to do. So it's beneficial to watch that and address it that way, because that means that you're guiding them the right way. Because now you can understand exactly what they do and how they do the things, exactly what it looks like, instead of an adult being like, your child did this. That adult could be lying. We don't know. The adult could be telling the truth. But you get to see it with your own eyes and actually address the situation with the adult and the child. I think it's beneficial. I don't think anybody is wrong. I'm just pointing out. I think that it's beneficial as well how mine is doing it.
Yeah.
So
So
Wanted
how
to-
long
I just had to say,
are y'all
hold on.
supposed to sit back and monitor this antagonizing of a grown person supposed to go on before I step in? How long does that happen? What's the
That's up to
time
you.
limit? Is it like a 2 to 3? Hold on. Now nobody interrupt. I didn't interrupt nobody. Is it supposed to be like a 5 minute intervals of watching your son at the goddamn food, making silly faces, poking at the adult, saying silly shit to? How long does it supposed to go down before you intervene? Mine?
It's up to you. You the dad. It's up to you.
Okay. So it could be a 10-minute go down just for 10 minutes, and you okay with that?
It could be 30 seconds. It's up to you.
Okay.
It
Sounds crazy.
All right, let's go ahead and get that. Go ahead, Dad.
But real quick, I wanted to just real quick with what Aisha said. Aisha said that I can't tell people how they should respond to things. I absolutely disagree with her. I absolutely feel like I can tell you how you should respond to things and how you shouldn't respond to things. I think that there's objectivity there to some degree of how we know people shouldn't respond to things, right? You can break the law by responding to things how you choose to respond to something. But that's a radical example. But I absolutely can tell when somebody when they overreacting. You know, you may not agree, but you're a woman to me. I can absolutely coach you and tell you what you should be doing in certain situations. We may have different worldviews. Bo, close your ears. We may have different worldviews. But that's
you absolutely can't tell me how I can respond to anything. You don't know me.
No, I can tell you. You don't got to do it.
You can't tell me how to respond.
I can tell you right now.
You can't tell me how to emotionally regulate. When you do tell me, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. Because you are nothing to me. You're not a scholar. You're nobody that I would ever take that type of reverence from. You can't tell anyone how to emotionally regulate, especially someone you don't know. That's a little. I don't even know what it's giving. It's you know what I'm saying? It's weird. You could never do that. And I don't know who told you you could. Maybe your followers. You can't do that. I disagree wholeheartedly. That's something you could never do.
Yeah, this is why I don't
have a emotionally. I mean, are you a therapist? Are you a doctor? Like, is that what you do? You see patients? I'm just trying to figure out like how you can tell someone how to respond to something that someone does to them. That's impossible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult you, right? But this is when you say things like this, you don't sound like an intelligent person.
I'm
When
a
you
very
say
intelligent person. I have 2 degrees. So that's I
so,
don't have an unintelligent bone in my body. You can't
Jesus
tell me how
Christ.
to respond or how to regulate my emotions. That's for me to do.
I'll let you go.
I'm in control of how I regulate my
Go ahead.
emotions, not another person. I'm sorry if you thought that.
You don't even sound like you could tell
Maybe
your
you can do
son.
that. Maybe you can do
Well,
that in
you
your
doing
house.
it. You can't even tell your own son what.
Ain't cut it
You
out.
can't.
Ain't cut it out.
That's what it sounds
No,
like.
but
to
that's
me.
what it sounds
Ain't
like,
cut it
dog.
out.
Yeah, you could never tell me nothing.
You gonna tell another adult this?
No,
This is crazy, dog.
ain't cut it out. All right.
I mean, to an
Aisha,
extent,
I'm sorry.
if it's
you cut
his
me off.
wife and his son is in his,
Aisha,
like he said, if it's his
Hold
wife,
on.
and
You gotta let him
I'm gonna
finish.
give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example. If it's his wife
You gotta let him
and
finish.
his son is acting out, and he's sitting there watching the son act out, and like he said, every time he snap his fingers, the son get on his P's and Q's. But when his wife does it, he continues to act out and antagonize. So what he's saying he's doing, from what I'm gathering, is he's telling her how she shouldn't get upset in that moment and how she should figure out a way to when she snap her fingers, he responds the same way. Isn't that what you're saying, Mark?
no.
Oh, well, shit, I'm lost.
But back to what I was saying. Sorry.
I feel like that's what I feel like that's what he was saying.
Can I get in here real quick?
Go ahead, Dad.
You cut.
So,
You gonna try to go ahead and you cut me off.
Well, because
it's supposed to die anyway.
originally Lapeef
Yeah, but-
gave me the floor,
it's
but
supposed
then
to
I
die.
let you take it. But
No, I get it. But
originally
she
Lapeef
took,
did give
but
me
she
the
done took my damn turn. I'm sorry. I'll just be.
No,
Hold
y'all
on,
both took my turn. That's where you
sorry.
go.
That's a fact, Dad. Talk your shit.
I'm sorry. I
I'm
feel like
being
it's
funny.
fair if somebody say
Hold on.
something.
Give him. Just give him 1 minute.
No, I was
Yeah,
being funny.
so-
Go on ahead.
I'm sorry. Back to what I was saying. When I said out, when you say stuff like that, you don't sound like an intelligent person, right? And then when you also say that you got degrees and that makes you intelligent, I don't think you understand what intelligence is. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. But
I
to
don't
tell
think that
somebody,
you know what emotional intelligence is, but that's neither here or there. So
I'm just talking about
here we
intelligence
are.
in general. Just let me finish real quick. But to say that your degrees equal intelligence, that doesn't even
They
correlate.
absolutely do, because that's what they grade you on when you go to school. Do they not grade
They don't
you on
grade you on
intelligence?
intelligence. They grade you on answering the questions and memorizing the questions and memorizing.
Have you been to college? They don't grade you on
I've never been to college.
Okay, well, here we are.
You
Here
think
we
you're
are.
smarter than me, but I'm telling you, you're not more
I
intelligent
say you're
than me.
not qualified to have
You
these
don't.
conversations. Everybody doesn't need a mic.
So
You're not
you keep cutting me
qualified
off.
to
I
have
just like
this
to finish, please.
conversation, buddy.
I just like to finish. Could you,
You're
it's
not
like I try to get my
qualified to
point
have
across,
this
and then we start having a
conversation.
conversation.
You're one of those guys that have a mic
No,
that should
no.
not
I'd
absolutely
like to
have
finish
one.
my
And you
point. Is
think
that okay?
because you talk like this,
I like
and
to
you
have
have
an
a
intelligent
soft
conversation
tone,
with you,
that
but you
we
keep
are
cutting me
going
off.
to understand.
And when you
you.
guys told me I was cutting you off, I stopped.
I'm sorry. Here you go, Mike. You got it.
Thank you. So to tell someone that since you're not a therapist, that you can't tell somebody that they can better emotionally regulate themselves, that's ridiculous, right? You can ask anybody, you can ask any therapist that, positive, they'll tell you, oh no, a normal person can see you behaving in a way that they know that you can probably behave better, and they can help you, tell you, well, maybe you could have did this better. You might have a friend who can tell you you could have did something better. But the idea, this argument of authority of like, you're not a therapist, so, or you're not a doctor. How you gonna tell me I shouldn't take a COVID vaccine? Like, that's not an intelligent thing to say. It's not an intelligent position to have, if that makes sense. But you think that your degrees make you intelligent. I'm telling you, your degrees don't make you intelligent, and it's not going to make you more money than me. It's not going to do either. Neither of these things will ever be true. That your degrees will do either one of those things. It won't.
You sound bitter, but go ahead.
Bitter. What would I be possibly bitter about?
But here's
Tell me
the
one
thing.
thing about my life that I could be bitter
What
about.
did you say does not make sense. What I'm saying is you're not qualified to make a sound judgment on somebody's emotions who you don't know. That's just how I feel, right? To each his own. To me, you're not. If you're not qualified. You're not even a friend. That's what I said. You're not even a person that could come and say to me personally that I could have handled anything better. That's just my opinion. Like if you came up to me, if your son was antagonizing me and you came up to me and told me I should handle the situation better, I probably would just look at you just like this and walk away. And that would have been the end of that. Because I probably wouldn't have did anything to your child. I mean, what do you do to someone else's kid? You know, you just kind of say, and walk away. I wouldn't do anything to anybody's kid, but I think that you should also discipline your child. I think that should be the focus and not regulating another adult's emotions. I mean, I feel like the focus should be on the kid's behavior and stopping it. That's just my personal opinion, and not trying to regulate the adult's behavior.
Everybody can
I feel like you're actually torturing the adult by doing that. So
everybody can do better. Everybody can.
Go ahead, Di. You can go.
I forgot.
All right, I'm gonna play this clip. We can further this discussion. You good, Concrete? Good, Bo? Willie?
Concrete had to come up out her sweater.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. I apologize. I had to get in there and respond to somebody, but I apologize for doing it.
I actually was trying to have your back, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
You know,
I was actually, I kind of agree. Well, I disagree to an extent, but I'll just say what I disagreed about because I can't remember what the part I agreed about. I do disagree because it's too many kids in these schools that are not comfortable enough calling a parent when they get into issues, right? They feel like they have to go in there, handle it themselves. I don't feel like enough parents are involved. That's what I was going to say. But to what Real Dope is saying, my daughter, as she was growing up, she's 12 now, so I don't have these issues. But when she was in her younger ages, I think like he was describing, she used to, like when I tell her to clean her room, doing certain stuff, she would do it. But when my grandmother would tell her, she would not listen. So I had to observe, why wasn't she listening to her? She would listen to her teachers, she would listen to everybody else, but she wouldn't listen to my grandma. Then I would look at what my grandma would do. I would be like, Demaya, go clean your room. My grandma would go in there and sneak and clean the room for her. I'd be like, Demaya, do this, do that. Or our grandma would be like, okay, I want Demaya to help me cook today. I said, Demaya, go in there and help her cook. Demaya throws an attitude. She's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. So I felt like whenever we was here at my grandmother's house, my grandmother would go against what I say, which in turns make my daughter have a lack of discipline. So then it got to the point where it's like, okay, grandma, you got to take accountability for this. Like, she's not cleaning her room when you tell her to clean her room, because every time I tell her to clean her room, you go in there and do it for me. She's not doing this because you're doing it for her. So it got to the point where my grandma, like, I had to take a step back because I'm like, if you're not gonna enforce things, then I'm not gonna say anything. So it got to the point I wasn't saying nothing. She would get frustrated, and eventually, like, she followed, the way because I raised her. You know what I'm saying? But far as antagonizing, that word there, I dealt with a kid like that once, and the mother was not saying nothing. And I can't say, coming from the adult's point of, like, coming from the adult that's being antagonized, it's very frustrating. I wish the mother would have stepped in. But Dope, I get what you're saying to some extent, but as a general rule, to let your kids do that with an adult, I don't agree with it. Maybe at a certain age, I don't know, but you got to make sure you know that adult too. That was it.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video that Willie sent me.